Continuing on the discussion about talent, and one way to bring talent in is through recruiting. And right now,
or winning.
Well,
that's well, I'll come
winning.
Well, and actually, if you, the young man that we had on at the very beginning, the audio was of Malachi Coleman after this last weekend, and he was quoted last week in saying that he didn't want to commit until he knew that we were winning football games. Winning's important. That if he committed today and then we turn around and go 3-9, he's going to decommit anyways because he wants to go play for a winner. So he's, and who can blame him? I don't blame him either. At some point, you got to win some games.
Yeah, and I think we can talk about this because Clester Johnson has talked about it in the past, and we had him on the podcast a long time ago. But, I mean, there was a situation where they were trying to figure out where his son was going to go to school, right, where Keegan was going to go to school. And it came down to the question was, Keegan going to go to Nebraska for 4 years and maybe have a chance to not make a bowl or not have a winning season? Or would he go someplace like Iowa and where they have been consistently going to bowl games and winning games? And that was the decision they had to make. And in the end, no one could tell them or guarantee them that they were going to turn it around. And so Keegan chose to go to Iowa. And I understand that. Would you want to go to a place where you knew for a fact that everything they've tried over the last 4 years has been pretty much a failure? Would you want to go to that place? It'd be really hard to do. It's as hard as the decision that players had to make back in the 90s when they were winning, to know they were going to come to a program where they were going to have to sit for 2 or 3 years, or they could go someplace else that maybe didn't win as much and they could star. It's a very similar, it's opposite sides, obviously, but it's the same thing. Do I want to go to a place where I know I'm going to play, but I'm not going to win? Do I want to go to a place where maybe I don't play, but we're going to win? I mean, it's a hard decision to make, and I understand where Malachi is at.
And even when we won all the time back then, when we talked to Damon, Mac, you asked him that great question about, like, it seems like we've heard so many players back then saying they wanted to quit at one time or another. And Damon's like, oh, of course, every single guy, right?
Yeah.
But
think of Mike Babcock's book, Heart of a Husker. Goes through all these guys, Broderick Thomas, everybody, all those guys wanted to leave. They all called home and were like, I'm transferring, I'm leaving. So I know.
But, one of the reasons why you would want to come to Nebraska now is, I'll go back to the crew that's come in here. And I think maybe Clester's son would have a different take right now with Mickey Joseph coaching there. Some of the new staff that have come in, and look at what we're doing right now with some of these young recruits. Just this last weekend here, Deshaun, and I can't see the last name, darn it, it's up there. But he, the 8th grader from Omaha, Benson.
Muhammad?
What is the dang it?
That's not Muhammad, is it?
I think it is.
Is it Muhammad? Looks like Muhammad.
That does look like Abdul Muhammad. Right?
Well, that's Abdul Muhammad next to him. It's the kids. I can't see the kid's last name because I got
12, 13.
Yeah, Deshaun 12, 13.
Hey, that's all they go by nowadays.
Anywho, he's an 8th grader. Well, actually, no.
He's an 8th grader?
Yeah, 2025 class. That's
there
crazy.
It is, Deshaun Prince. So I'll just fast forward to this slide.
2026. Oh my God.
We've had to update this in-state recruiting now. We're big in in-state recruiting on the show, and we've had to update this graphic twice in the last 2 days because today Brock Knutson from Scottsbluff, he's committed. Also, we had to add 2026. And by the way, I make it sound like I had to do it. I love doing this. I love seeing in-state recruiting, the emphasis that's being put on it. I'm a big believer in you build from the inside out. You don't just hand them out just to hand them out, but if the talent's there, do it. And we've got talent in the state. Yeah. I think we've always had talent in the state, but we have it right now. We're identifying it and getting it out there. And so this is this brings a huge smile on my face to see this. But we've got kids in the 2024 class, 25, 26. The Metro is well represented. Lincoln is getting represented again. You can go out to Ainsworth and Pierce and out to Scottsbluff. I mean, this is what I would expect from an in-state effort from the staff.
I've seen more than half of these kids play in person. First of all, Tyson Terry is a grown-ass man. I saw him on the sideline of a Nebraska game, and I had to ask somebody, so who's this kid? Is he redshirting? He's like, no, I think he's coming off his freshman year. I was like, oh my God. So he's a big cat. A lot of talent on there. I don't know about that quarterback at Bellevue West. I just haven't seen enough of him.
Kalen.
When I have seen him, to think to myself that, because I know how good a guy like Flores was. I saw him in person multiple times. I know how good he was. I haven't seen enough of Kalen to tell you how good he is. But about half of those guys I've seen in person. And I know Damon's kid is a very talented, great tackler, going to be a safety at the next level, I believe. Very talented kid. Sledge, who started off at tight end, who kind of struggled out there, really settled in when he moved to tackle. I think he's a really good player. There's a lot of good kids on that list.
So, when you brought up Flores, when we didn't really lose a kid like Flores. We didn't really offer him. So, I mean, I mean, do you look at that? Was that do you think we should have, or is it just one of those things? Hey, we went out and got Watson. That's the guy that we wanted instead. I mean,
here's the thing. I know he didn't throw well when he was in person at one of the camps. I know that he didn't have a good day at one of the camps, but that's great and everything. Go to a game and watch him. Stand on the sideline and try to shoot. So, when you go on the sideline, you have your phone with you, and I got a Samsung 8, and my kids have new phones. And I'm up there, and you're trying to track him. The ball's swift, right? You're losing it out of the track of your phone because of how hard he throws the ball at times. And his touch is amazing, and he's athletic, and he runs track. He hits every single, and he's gotten better every year. He lost his 2 senior wide receivers. He got better the next year. He goes against that great defense that Westside had, and he made 4 amazing throws to end up winning that game. I don't know what else you wanted from the kid, but you know what? You got to make your decision based off of who's the best player, not whether or not they're 50 miles from your house. You're not. But if they think that he's not the best player, then I understand it. I think Flores is going to, wherever he goes, Flores is going to be a great quarterback.
And he's going to Oklahoma State, or committed there. So yeah, I mean, and I think that would be
a great program.
That'd be a good fit for him. I guess while we're looking at that original tweet here, we had the Deshaun Prince one, but then also there is the 2025 Omaha North quarterback Sebastian Serco. And he has offers already from Penn State and Ole Miss, and he was throwing at the camp this weekend. And so I don't know. I haven't heard anything if he's received an offer yet or not. It's amazing, Michael, how quickly it's almost like this kid's just got done with his 9th grade year, and there's Penn State's coming in and offering it. Ole Miss, I know Lane Kiffin's nuts. He offers 3rd graders, but still, I mean, this is that's crazy.
I think
they did offer him, didn't they? Offer him because I saw a video of him throwing the ball to the wide receiver kid. Like I saw that, and I thought they said that they offered him and that he already had those offers.
I hadn't seen the offer part yet, but
I'm not sure. I'm not 100%.
I did.
He didn't
play,
but when I went to North game, he didn't play. I think he may have been at like a close proximity COVID thing where he didn't play, and they ended up having to run the option in that game against Bellevue West. I mean, against West Side because they didn't have a real quarter to throw the ball. But so I didn't see him play, but from everything I read, he did pretty well at the camp.
Mm-hmm.
The quarterbacks only, from what I understand, just again listening, and I wasn't there, but most of the quarterbacks struggled at the camp. But he had some nice throws from everything I read.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's some good video of him out there.